There are two types of sequence and series we're going to look at this unit. The first is arithmetic, not arithmetic, arithmetic, and the second is geometric. So first we're going to look at arithmetic. The difference between the two is how you get to each term. So for arithmetic, there is a common difference, we use the letter D, between each term. So difference, remember, means subtract. So to figure out the common difference, you subtract the terms. It doesn't matter which terms you choose to subtract, as long as you do the second one minus the first one, and that'll tell you the common difference. There's going to be a formula that we figure out to find at any term that we want. It's called the explicit formula. So if we want to find the nth term, we would use this formula. And then of course you have the recursive formula. It's always going to be plus D no matter what form you take, because for arithmetic, all you do is either add or subtract a number. So you're always going to have this plus D. Now, for the summation, these are two equations that you can use to basically do the summation thing that we learned in the last lesson. And there's two different equations because depending on what you know is which one you choose. So let's see, what you know. So if you know the first term and the term that you're looking for, you'll use this equation. If you just know that you're trying to find the 20th term and all you have is D, you'll use this equation. Okay, let's start looking at arithmetic. So in these first four problems, we just need to decide, is it arithmetic? And if it is, we're going to find the common difference. So to be arithmetic, they either need to add or subtract the same number to each term. So how do you get from 3 to 7? Okay, that's plus 4. Do I do that to get from 7 to 11? Yeah. So that means yes, it's arithmetic, and D is a positive 4. Okay. This one's a little harder to see. So I'm going to go up here and do what it said to do to check. So I'm going to do the second one minus the first one. So in my calculator, or if you're just smart and do it in your head, I'm going to do 5/2 minus 3. So that means they're saying they're going to subtract 1/2 each time. So let's see if that's true. What's 5/2 minus 1/2? That's 2. What's 2 minus 1/2? That's 3/2. So yeah. So yes, and D is minus 1/2. Okay, number 3. They're increasing in the exponent. So technically, they're not adding, they're multiplying by E, because E times E is E squared. E squared times E is E to the third. Multiplying is not arithmetic. You have to add or subtract to be arithmetic. Let's check number 4. So I'm going to do the same thing. What's 1/2 minus 1/4? So this looks like they're adding 1/4. So let's check. 1/2 plus 1/4 is 3/4. So yes. And each time they're adding 1/4. Okay. On 5 through 7, we're going to find the formula. The formula that they're talking about is the nth term. So we're going to be looking at this explicit formula. We're going to write this formula. So if I know the first term is 6 and they're subtracting by 2 each time, to find the nth term, first it says to take a sub 1. So for us, that's 6. We're going to add D. So for this, it's minus 2. And then just n minus 1. There's our answer. Let's do the same thing for number 6. So a sub 1, the first term, is 8. Now I need to figure out D. So how do you get from 8 to 13 and 13 to 18? That's plus 5. And then we have n minus 1. Okay, number 7, they give us the recursive formula. What do we get from this? What is this plus 4? That's D. So a sub n, a sub 1 is negative 2 plus 4 and minus 1. Okay. The last thing we're going to look at is the partial sums. So this is like the series where we add them all together, but we're going to use these formulas and we have to figure out what we know. So on number 8, we know that a sub 1 is 5, and we know that n is 20. And I don't know what the 20th term is. I don't know a sub n, but I can figure out d. So how do you get from 5 to 9, and 9 to 13, and 13 to 17? That's 4. So since I don't know a sub n, I'm going to use this formula. So I'm going to find the sum of the first 20 numbers. So it says to start with n, so 20, and then 2 times a sub 1 plus d, and then n minus 1, all over 2. And I'm just going to type this in my calculator. So that's 20, 2 times 5 plus 4 times 20 minus 1, all over 2. That's 860. So the sum of the first 20 terms in this sequence is 860. Y'all try number 9. Do the same thing for number 9. I'll wait. Go ahead, pause the video. Try number 9. Welcome back. So you knew that a sub 1 was 17, n was 25, and then you had to figure out that d was minus 3. So when you wrote your equation for the sum of the first 25 terms, you said 25, 2 times 17 minus 3, and then 25 minus 1 all over 2. When you typed that in, you got negative 475. Cool. This last one, since it's a summation, I'm just going to type it in my calculator. So x equals 1, 3x plus 2, all the way to the 80th term. So n is 80 there. So my answer is 9,880. Okay, and that's arithmetic.